A recent survey by Hearts and Wallets said that more than half of late career and mid-career respondents said they're having difficulties with retirement planning. A lot of that because they are DIYing it. Of the financial tasks Heart and Wallets listed, estate planning was the only one that a higher percentage said was harder than in 2016. So when we look at this, we see a lot of individuals that are struggling with their investment planning, their retirement planning, their estate planning. For example, 54% of late career respondents and 47% of pre-retirees told Hearts and Wallets they found it difficult or very difficult to choose appropriate investments. And then we go on to advice. And I found this one an interesting nugget. In 2016, only 43% of late career respondents said they paid financial professionals for advice, but 71% sought advice from all kinds of free sources, from mutual fund and brokerage phone reps to employers and family friends, not to mention the media. And that, by the way, was up 8 percentage points from the survey in 2015. So my question is that a good place for people to get their financial information? From the media, we know how honest they are. Joining me on the show, Gene Pastula, certified financial planner. I guess I'm part of the media now, so I may be dissing myself. You are. Honest Abe, that's what they call me. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year and all that good stuff to you.
Thank you very much.
You happen to be in a tough business. Your business takes a lot of heat, the insurance side. We were talking earlier about product diversification. Now we're finding that 71% of people are trusting a phone rep at Fidelity or their boyfriend, girlfriend, mom or dad, cousin, uncle, friend at the club, or the media for their financial advice. And you got to take guff from that guy on television that says annuities are bad, I hate them, and you're a crook.
Okay. I don't even watch him.
Whoever
that guy is.
I see him almost every night, and I want to throw a brick.
The channel,
I don't change the channel because those are the shows I like watching. But it comes on a lot, and so I want you to defend that position. I want you to respond to this because, as a certified financial planner, you are obliged to do real planning with individuals, put their interests first, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, correct?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Because I'm guilty of that to a certain degree of, not taking advice, but seeking information from a whole variety of places, not all of which are, are worthy of attention. Like probably the guy on TV, I don't know. But at any rate, so I don't think that's so bad. It depends on, the level of expertise or understanding that you have. And of course, the more you do that, if you're really interested, and that's what, I talk to a lot of our, audience. People call me and want additional information on stuff that we talk about, what have you. And I find that they have a fairly good understanding of at least the broad issues.
Well, they should. I've been training them for 25 years. So they started when they were like, 14.
Yeah, exactly. And they read and so that they, then they're able to, or they think they are, some more than others.
But you're not a rep that works at some mutual fund company with 2 years of experience.
No, and I'm not restricted to a set of products that, that need to be sold and all the rest of the stuff. That's very true. And of course, but on the other hand, I can call that rep, and I have some specific things in mind that I have researched and have settled on, and I can ask him or her to get that set up for me or what have you. So it just depends on, I think it depends on the individual. And you were making the comment in the prior segment there about, each person is different. In my business, I take care of, or I address the issues that are extremely important particularly for pre-planning and retirement, which is having enough to carry you through to the end of your life without any worry or hassle, or as little worry as hassle as possible, and having enough money to pay for the additional care that you're going to need in the health area, including to long-term care. I talked to an old friend of mine this last week. Hadn't talked to him in a couple of years. His wife has Alzheimer's. She has had Alzheimer's now for 12 years. He goes to they've completely bankrupted him. I mean, he has virtually no free cash anymore. So he's got just enough to live on. And so she's in a ward of a memory unit, they call it, whatever. But he goes every day to her and spends about 6 hours with her.
Wow.
Feeds her lunch, helps her get, clean and presentable and what have you, and talks to her. And, he says she doesn't know who I am, but she knows I'm the guy that comes almost every day, and then feeds her some dinner and goes home. And that's his life.
How old a dude is this?
He's 80.
Wow.
80 or 81. At any rate, I says, well, so how's her health other than that? He says, she's good. She's good for another 5 or 10 years. Yeah. So, I mean, that's obviously a one-off situation.
Well,
I mean, it happens.
But I've been experiencing with my father, my own father,
exactly.
who, everything, he's a little slow and a little slow mentally, but everything else seems to be pumping out pretty good.
Yeah, so the idea here is that, okay, so if that's an issue that is an issue that everybody has to face, some won't. In fact, many will not. They just simply will not agree that is anything that can happen to them. But when you get around to facing it, you want to do something that will work, not that you think with a little bit of luck or the market does well or we get the right president in place or what have you, that's going to be that's going to work. So those are the things, and then and then what's left over can go to the kids. And in fact, we can set up plans where we can know specifically. And Jim from the last segment, when he was talking about, I never heard that last dime. What was it? Was it last dime?
I don't know. He's going to spend it all before he goes.
Anyway, you can set up a life insurance policy and specify X dollars for each kid, and then he can spend the rest of it, and they'll still get theirs.
I actually have a buddy in the business that does that very same thing. Let's take a break on this note. I want to come back and talk about that, because when I discussed my own situation and wanting to leave a legacy, it was because I already have the other stuff he's talking about taken care of. Just paid my premiums, by the way. Was it last night or the night before? Don't like paying them like everybody else, but love what they're buying for me. Stick around. We'll talk about that and a whole bunch more with Gene Pastula here on the Ray Lucia Show.